Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be making chicken chop suey Fiji style. In terms of my ingredients, I've got ginger garlic chili, that's according to taste, and then we've got onions that I've cut in circles, and then I've got my veggies. So I've got carrot, celery, bean, capsicum, and cabbage. You can use whatever veggies you want to, whatever is in season wherever you stay. And in terms of my sauce, I'll be using soy sauce, oyster sauce, and we've got corn flour just to thicken it all up. So we'll marinate our chicken and we'll put that aside. So I've put in my crushed ginger garlic chili paste and I've put in my soy sauce. Now in terms of your soy sauce, you can add more if you like a more darker color, or you could add a bit less. And then I'll put in my oyster sauce. Now for the marinade, that's the oyster sauce I'll be using. So when I'm marinating it, I won't put any salt in there because the soy sauce has enough salt in there, and I'll just add a bit of salt sort of at the end when I'm cooking off my chicken. Alright, so this is something I do differently compared to other people, and honestly try this and you will have a really nice chop suey. So what I'm doing is I'm actually taking some time to actually stir fry the veggies. You don't want to overcook it. Each veggies you want to sort of stir fry it for about 1 to 2 minutes and really high heat. And what you want to do is you want to start seeing a bit of that brown color, and when you add that to your chop suey, the vegetables, it will actually taste really good. So I'm cooking the vegetables according to the length it takes to cook. So the carrots take a lot longer to cook. So I've put that in there, and I keep on adding salt whenever I add the veggies according to that vegetable, just so that, you know, the salt is then maintained and it's not too salty. So we put in the carrot, cook that for about 2 minutes in high heat. We've then put in the celery because that takes the second longest to cook, and then we've cooked that for about 2 minutes in high heat. Once we've added that, we've added our green beans as well, and we'll cook that off in high heat as well. And I'll show you what that looks like in terms of the brown bits that I'm talking about. So you want your pan to be really, really hot and in high heat when you're cooking this, because you don't want to you want to sweat your vegetables. You don't want it to actually start releasing the water. All right, so that's looking really good. I've added in my capsicum now, and we'll give that a nice stir, and I'll add my salt according to that capsicum, the quantity that I'm using for that. Cool, so that's going to cook off really nicely. You can see my pan's really hot, and there we go. So that's the brown bits you want in your vegetables. It's still crunchy, but it's got that brown bits there, and it will not add a nice smoky taste to your stir fry. Now what we'll do is we'll add just the white bits of the cabbage. We won't add the leaf, we'll add that a bit later on. So we'll give that a nice stir. Obviously with the cabbage, it does have a high water content, so you want it to be really hot. There we go, that's looking really nice. So what we'll do is we'll put that in, we'll empty that all in a container shortly. All right, so there we go, we're putting it in a basin, and what we'll do now is in the same pan, we'll heat that up, and we'll add our oil to that, and then we'll add our chicken. Cool, so that's in high heat as well. You want to cut off your chicken so that it's bite-sized and it's easier to cook. So you can see my pan's really hot, and so I'll give that a nice stir, and I'll keep cooking that until it's all fully cooked off. Cool. So that's looking good. I've added a bit of salt now because I didn't add any when I did the marinade. And that's looking really nice. You want it to fry off really nicely, so that you can see my chicken has fried off really nicely. Now we like just a tiny bit of gravy with our stir fry. So what I'll do is I'll add some water to that, and I'll cook it off. I'll make sure I pick up all the bits from the side, and we'll cook this off. And you want it to start boiling off and get into a nice consistency. Now at this stage, what I'll do is, so I'm giving it a nice stir, make sure I'm picking up everything from the sides and letting it boil. Once it's come up to boil, what we'll do now is we'll add in our cabbage leaf, we'll add in our onions, and now this part is optional, so you can add this if you want to or not, but I'll be using a bit of the Chinese salt, which is MSG, in my stir fry. Cool, so adding in my onion, my cabbage, and you'll shortly see that I'll be adding my MSG in there. I'm just using a tiny bit in there, and I know a lot of people don't like to use it, but I've used that for my stir fry. So we'll give that a nice mix and let that all sit together really nicely. I've also mixed in my corn flour slurry as well. So I've used 2 teaspoons of corn flour with a bit of water, and that will just thicken everything up nicely at the end. Now once you've added this, you want it to cook for about another 3 minutes or so, and then you'll add in your veggies. Once you've added in your vegetables, give it a nice stir. Make sure everything's incorporated really nicely. Now your vegetables have been sauteed already, so that's cooked, so you don't want to cook it any further. If you like, because I like to have crunchy bits in my stir fry. I don't want the veggies to be cooked off fully. So what I'll do is I'll give it a stir. Make sure that everything's incorporated, all the flavors are all mixed together nicely. And then once that's done, then you'll shortly see that I'll add in my my corn flour slurry to that. Alright, so I've left that off for about, I'd say 2-3 minutes, and you can add more water if you want to. We don't like it really runny. Some people's chop suey are pretty much like a soup. In my family, we don't like it. We like a bit of gravy, but not too much. So I've added in my corn flour slurry now. We'll give it a stir, and just make sure that we've cooked off the corn flour. That's looking really nice now, and doing the voiceover is making me really hungry looking at that. Cool, we'll give it a stir, mix that together really nicely, and then we'll serve it. There we go, that's looking really nice, and that's enough gravy for my family. Again, if you prefer to have a lot of gravy, you can add more water to this. Now you can serve this with cassava, rice, whatever you want to. We've served this with some noodles. Now if you do like my recipe, or if there's anything you want me to any other recipes you want to see, feel free to like, share and subscribe, and comment what recipes you want me to post. Take care guys, bye.